Hey there, how's it going? So the other day I mentioned that I was going to invest in a new ultralight fishing rod when I was doing my video on the new reel that I got. Well, today I went out and got it. Yep. I finally decided which make and model I wanted. And it came down to this one here, the Shimano Claris. I mean, not only does it look sweet, look how the colors match, eh? Well, that's not the only thing that criteria that I use to for this decision. Um, there's a lot of things about this particular fishing rod that I really like. Now, I had gone through quite a number of different models and makes. I had looked at Daiwa, I had looked at Fenwick, I even looked at St. Croix, I looked at 13 Fishing, but I kept coming back to this one, to this particular fishing rod. And there's a couple of things about it that really attracted me and what I was really looking for in an ultralight. And I found it in this model. First off, I like to have a fast tip. And this particular ultralight has a fast tip. Normally, ultralights have a bit of a what I call a sloppy tip. They're all over the place. But this one, if I shake it up and down, you can see it stops very quickly. That's just my hand shaking here, sorry. But you can see it stops very quickly. It's not all over the place. It doesn't oscillate. And that's something I don't like in any fishing rod tip. I prefer a fast tip to avoid that oscillation. The other thing that attracted me was the length. Now, I already have a 5-foot ultralight rod, but I didn't want to go to a 6'6". I wanted something in between, and this one is 5'6" tall. So that was another thing that attracted me to it as well, is that the length was the right length that I wanted. It also breaks down into 2 pieces, which is a bit unusual for short fishing rods, because usually anything under 6 foot is usually a 1-piece. But I don't have a very good relationship with 1-piece. I have a tendency to shut the tips and doors and tailgates, and that's how I damaged my last ultralight. But this one breaks down in 2 pieces, so hopefully we can avoid doing that. Another thing is I wanted the split handle. I like that better. It's just a preference when using a one-hand applications to have a split handle that just stays out of the way of my wrist. So yeah, the split handle is also the bonus. And something else, when I put this reel on, I just put this rod together. I want to show you something. I always check this with a rod and reel, and that is the balance. So look at that. That's almost spot on. Even moving it around, it basically stays put. And that's really good. That's going to make a very nice balance fishing rod system when I go to use it. So that was another thing too, was that its balance is very nice. So let's look at the specs of this rod. The blank is made of graphite. It has a very high graphite modulus rating, and that's why you have the stiffness in the tip of the blank here. That's why you've got the fast tip. That's what gives it that. It has titanium oxide line guides as well. This helps with casting. It also reduces friction. It is braid rated, this rod, so if that's something you're looking for, this rod is. Remember what I told you in the last video, make sure your equipment is braid rated. Don't assume that you can use braid on all of your setups, because you can't. But this one is rated for braid. Now, its ratings for lure weight is 1/16 of an ounce to 3/16 of an ounce. There's your ultralight. The line rating is 1 to 6 pound test for monofilament and 3 to 8 pound test for braided line. Okay, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting out with this puppy and putting it through its paces. Now, while we're on the topic of ultralight, I'd like to explain a little bit what ultralight fishing is. And this came about last night when I was chatting to a customer. And we were talking about ultralight fishing, I should say. And he turned around and said to me, well, ultralight's for women and kids. No, it's not. Ultralight is another style of fishing. And ultralight usually incorporate the use of light fishing rods, light lines, small lures and jigs, and of course, much smaller reels. So the weight that you're usually throwing with an ultralight is anywhere from 1/16 up to, they say the maximum is 1/4 ounce. An ultralight fishing rod is not a rod that you want to overload, all right, because you will get a very, very sloppy cast from it. It's not designed to have a lot of weight on the tip. The rod is not designed for that, period. So don't try and overload it. I know the heavier, the further you can cast, but try not to do that. It also incorporates the use of small reels, which means you get less line. The reel numbers for an ultralight usually are the 500 to the 1000 series reels, which will hold 1 to 6 pound test line. Some anglers have gone up to the 1500 series. That will put them up to possibly an 8-pound test, but for the most part, most anglers usually use a 4-pound test line. So you can use a 4-pound test line, of course, with a 1500 series reel. But usually it's 5, 750, or 1000. I like a 1000. That's just, again, preference. You get a bit more line on it than you do the 750 and the 500. Okay, I've already spoke about this fishing reel in another video. So yeah. Now, what type of fish can you get on an ultralight? Well, it's mainly for pan fishing, right? So your pan fish are your crappie, your bass, your perch, your pumpkin seed, your bluegill, even catfish, and even this guy. Yeah, I caught him about 2 years ago on my 5-foot ultralight using 4-pound test. I don't know how I managed to get him in, but I did. The line did snap just as I got him to the bank. But yeah, so you can catch quite a range of fish with ultralight. And the other thing is, these are really good for trout fishing, for your bows, for your specks and your brookies. A lot of people like to use an ultralight fishing rod when they go trout fishing, because trout, you have to use light lines and small hooks and lures. Otherwise, it frightens them away. And the best way to do it is by using an ultralight system. Now, believe it or not, an ultralight angler, in the most part, in a lot of cases, can out-catch an angler that uses heavier gear. Because, why is that, you say? No. Yes. And you know why? Because with an ultralight, you're throwing a much lighter lure and smaller lure than you are with heavier gear. And therefore, you can be more accurate with your cast, and you can get it into places that they probably can't get close to. And plus the fact, as I said, the range of fish that you can fish for with ultralight is a lot wider than someone who doggedly insists on just going after muskie. So yes, the catch ratio is higher than somebody who is using heavier equipment. So there's nothing wrong with ultralight. There's nothing feminine about it at all. It is a great way to fish, because even with the small fish, you will feel them tug and struggle, and you feel that, the tug is the drug, is what they say. You feel it on an ultralight. On a heavier rod, a heavier blank, you probably wouldn't feel too much. You know something is there because you could see your line dipping about, but you would probably miss it. But with this, you feel everything because it being so light. And that's the beauty of ultralight, and that's why it makes it so much fun to do. And no, it's not just for women and kids. A lot of men do ultralight fishing. Now, the rod lengths, the shortest rod is 5 foot, and I think now they are putting out a 7 foot or even over 7 foot ultralight, which the trout guys really like to have, especially if they're fishing from the bank. They like to have that extra length because you do get to cast a lot further with a longer blank. But for the most part, the average seems to be about 6 foot to 6'6". So, yeah, get a chance to do some ultralight fishing. Get the heck out there and try it. It's a lot of fun. It really is. And I guarantee if you do it, you're going to probably do it most of the time. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this out. And once we do, of course, we'll be putting up some videos to get this thing christened and show you what it can do. I haven't decided yet what line I'm running. I'm kind of toying between fluorocarbon and a copolymer line. But we still got some weeks yet before we can get out. Yeah, so anyway, I just thought I'd do a quick little video, show you my new rod, and tell you a little bit about ultralight fishing. It is not just for women and children. It's for everybody. It is a style of fishing, and it's a very popular one, and a lot of fun. All right? So this is Sharon saying thanks a lot for watching the video, and until the next time, tight lines.